Okay, so you may recall I did a couple videos in the last couple days mentioning this. I brought the van in, I had them replace the seal up front, the front main seal, and I was having some other rattles and whatnot, and I tightened up my exhaust. But when I got the van back the other day, I noticed that there was a crack here, and then I realized this was all broken. They tried to epoxy it in here, so they broke it at the shop, which is fine. Turns out that the guy who owns the shop, super friend of mine, and he ordered me a new one. So we're going to attempt replacing that now. And I'm going to do all that on camera for you and talk about some of the other stuff that's going on with the van at the same time. I'm going to have to get a box or something to put on the seat, to put the tripod on, because one of my biggest pet peeves is watching a channel where somebody's trying to show you how to do something. They're holding the camera with one hand, and then they're using their other hand to do a job that requires two hands. That ain't me. Okay, so we're going to try to do this whole job with this puller and my micro tool kit. And this is a Dorman part, and it's about $45. That's what my guy got. You might be able to get these cheaper on Rock Auto, I don't know. And I went ahead and had him get me another one because these are faded and scratched up and everything. It's funny, had it not been broken, one of the things I thought about doing, many of you have probably done this already, is to sand them up and then paint them with like a bed liner, because it would hold up better to all the crap I end up hitting and whacking. So I'll put the new ones on, they'll look nice for a while, and then once they start getting boogered up, that will be the plan. So let's take a look at this part. Comes its own little sock here. Okay, so we've got some, I guess I'll have to figure out what that's for. That's got to be a seal, like a double stick tape. And we got the nuts. They look to be about a 10 millimeter, so I'll double check that. And it's nice that they package it this well. So it won't get scratched up in transit. And there you have it. Again, this is a power version. Ooh, pretty. So one of the things I'm going to have to do is try to get that round, I don't know what that's called, by the way. You guys can tell me. But that's very helpful, especially on any van. You should have one of those round mirrors that are, a security mirror or something. You know, it's like a fisheye. You can see way more stuff. Very helpful, particularly on the passenger side of the vehicle. But I'm going to try to pull that off that glass. Doesn't matter if I break the glass, obviously, as long as I can get that off and then stick it back on this new one. All right, next step, set up the camera on the seat and get to getting. Okay, it is a 10 millimeter. Now you guys know in that micro tool kit I've got that other ratchet, but then I've got this one here that I use as a screwdriver as well. It's a ratchet. Works out pretty well. Maybe I'll remember to put a link to that video that I did where I did a video on that micro tool kit. It's actually doing pretty well. It might have like 40,000 views. Maybe I'm exaggerating. All right. These were 10 millimeter bolts, so hopefully that means the bolts that are on here are also 10 mil. So I know there's a thing we got to pry out here. Ugh. Now that should have came off a little bit easier, but it snapped the part that goes in there, but I'm certain this will still pop back in there. So I guess we'll see how that works out. Then you lift this out of here. So that's just, it fits in and in. That should have popped easier. I felt the piece hit my toe. That snapped off there, but that is not great. One of the bummers about working on older vehicles is that some of that plastic is very brittle. I have a whole video where I took this panel off and somebody sent me this refurbished one. It wasn't refurbished, I refurbished it and put it back on. And just this morning somebody sent me a comment about the these covers down here, can you take the cover off to get to the speaker? Oh, we're going to do a video on that. We're going to do a video on that next. Maybe it'll be even part of this video. So let's go ahead and see if we can peel this off. Okay, look at that. Here we are. Well, I see two. I only see 2 bolts, and the new one has 3. Ah, boy, this could be an issue here. Oh no, I'm right. 3rd one is in here. You might be able to see that on the camera. Okay, so we're golden. This looks like it'll work. Well, that was a little scary. Scary. Sorry if you're seeing the back of my back, my head, whatever. We are going to need a swivel to get to this stuff, it looks like. At least to get to one of these, like an extension and a swivel. It was so funny. I watched a guy do this, and he's like, it's going to fall because I only have one hand, because he's holding his camera with the other hand. Maybe this will work because it does swivel. We have the room? Come on. Now, we also have to get this apart, so you got to pull this out completely. You have to push in. There's this little blue tab here. Push in on that. Get this to come apart here. Let's try not to. Well, let's smarten up. You know, learning on the fly here. Let's get the small flat blade in here and see if we can get that to work. So if I slip, I don't. Unfortunately, it's on both sides. Is that what you have to do? I don't know if that's correct. Let's see if we can just. No. Okay, I watched a guy take this blue clip out, but you don't need to take that out. You take this blue clip out if you're trying to rewire this section. We don't need to do that. This is the female end. Male end snaps right out. So you just lift up on this little lever here, and this comes apart. I'm not zooming in, so I hope you guys can see that. So that's a lot easier. Then the last clown I saw do this. Let's see here. Will this get in there? Jesus loves me, this I know. All right, so let's not drop it. That doesn't look like it's moving. It must be. I'd like to put that piece of schmutz back up in there if it's possible. I should have my magnet with me, which is also in the kit. So this is interesting. This is like a double-sided. If I was to peel this, it'll probably be sticky on that side. So maybe I could flip this over and peel this and put it back on. I don't know, but I'd like to make this go back on here. And maybe, you know what might work here? Some duct tape. Probably do the trick. The idea here is you just, having this sealed with something sticky, just think about it. Think about it before I tell you. Can you guess why you'd want to do that? The reason is dust and debris and whatnot coming through here, water. You don't want that going inside the door. You don't want it mucking up your connections, all that good stuff. That seems like common sense. Maybe I'll just reuse these old. I like these old nuts better because they have these wide flange washers that are domed, that spin, that are on there. So maybe we'll reuse those. Okay. Well, that's that. It doesn't get easier than that. That's off of there. Remember, we got to try to get this off of here and put it on the new one. Put it down on the table. Okay. bear with me for a moment. I want to clean this off. Hopefully I can set this back up again and have it correct. Because I'll just show you right quick. I think that thing that they sent actually goes in here. We'll see. So I just want to wipe that all off there. Alright, so eyeballing this, because the angle cut on this, it looks to me like it probably goes here. I have to trim it, and I'm just guessing. I can't figure out where else this would go where it makes sense for me. So I'm going to place the mirror without this and then see what I think, because the old one doesn't have anything on there. Just they're depending on the rubber gasket that is part of this mirror. That's all they're depending on right there. So we're probably going to be fine without that thing. This all. I got a water bottle underneath the box here, trying to keep you guys balanced. While I make fun of everybody else, I'm over here doing the hokey thing. The hokey pokey? Yeah, there's no way that would work. So this is all I need to do. It's got these little rubber protectors on here, on the bolts, which is nice. The shipping is nice. The packaging is good. Let's see what it says on here, by the way. Polyway. On the plastic it says Polyway AC left hand, made in Taiwan, with a long part number on here. Don't know what you guys can see here, looking into the lens. I just blinded myself with the sun. Let's try not to drop this thing. How about that? That would be good. Fish this connector through. Oh yeah, looky there. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Ha. I mean, I've seen a video on this where it's like less than 2 minutes, so you guys can see how easy this is. No brainer. Even me, even a guy that looks and dresses like me, can figure this out that easy. You know what? I might be making a mistake here. Yeah, I've got to put this underneath. So I've got these rain deflector things, and this goes underneath this. So I got to take that off again, and I have to lift that up because I want this to be sealed tight to the body. And if I go on the top of it, this thing here, then it won't be sealed. By the way, I highly recommend these things. Now the one on my passenger side, unfortunately, leaks across the top because it's a double stick tape up here, and it must have just failed, and so water comes down in here. I don't know if you're seeing that on camera. Apologize if you're not. I apologize if you're not seeing it. Okay, let's get that through there. Let's lift this up. Get all this to fit up underneath here. This is tedious with this thing. I don't want to break it. I'm a brute. I am known for breaking things, which is not a good thing to be known for. I think I mentioned it before. When I was a kid, I didn't go to school to be a mechanic. I've told you before, I'm not a mechanic. I'm just mechanical. But as a kid, I was doing my own stuff because, poor. Built your own bikes as a kid? Yeah. Why did you do that? Because I was po. That's wrong too. I'm making another mistake. So I guess I'll have to show you this. Interesting. This is why my videos are so much longer than everybody else's. Just notice this. Shit. Took all the time to... let me just double check what I did with the other side. Maybe I didn't do this. Oh, sorry. There's a close-up of the side of my hand here. Okay, so no, I went ahead and I tucked that. See this here? And the mirror is on top of this. So I guess I'll just recreate the same system. So I just did all that for nothing. I was trying to put that under, but I guess it should go over. Just, I do that all the time on this channel, right? I say one thing, it turns out to be another. I try to catch myself. It's more about being correct rather than being right. Doesn't make any sense. What is going on? That was right. I thought that this thing was not coming through the rubber. Something just looked really funky to me. I apologize. Everything's fine. But I'm glad I went over there and looked at that. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on right over the top, which makes my life easier. Disregard the last minute and 50 seconds. Or whatever it is. Yeah, okay. This makes life a lot easier. It would if I... Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Didn't fall. See that? I have such a commanding presence that inanimate objects listen to me. That was the problem. This was tucked up between the mirror itself and the outside of the metal on the door here. And the wire was pulled so tight that I could just see the end of the hole on the rubber gasket. It looked like this wire was not in it. It was an optical delusion. All right. Okay. Can't fall out now. We'll go ahead and stick the key in the ignition too. And test this, obviously. Which you should probably do before. Came off so easy. I'm going to go ahead and tighten everything down and guess that it's going to work. I wouldn't recommend doing it this way if you were doing any other part on the vehicle, because if it was more difficult to do all that work and then you plugged it in and it didn't work, it would be a bitch. That's what I like about this ratchet. There's kind of a gimbal on the end of this here, so you can use it in so many different ways. Very, very cool. Now, you don't want to overdo that. You want to get it real snug, but you don't want to think about it like in a torque way, because everything's, it's just probably plastic in there that bolt's going through, and if you get too crazy with it, you're just going to snap that off, and that's another $45. Now, I was lucky with this last time. We'll see. We can still get this in here. It's not a perfect fit. This would be smarter with like a little speed wrench, which I have. I don't think I have it in my kit. Let me see what I got in there. If I have an open end, I don't think I do. Don't go anywhere. Oh, whoa, ho, ho, ho. Again. Coming through in fine fashion. Doesn't matter because it won't work. Yeah, there's not enough room to swing this sucker. Alright. It's the hard part, like when I was under the van yesterday. I'm not getting great purchase on that bolt, but this thing is tight. The reveal on the thread looks pretty close to the others. Okay. What's happening is the ratchet's hitting this wire and I'm pinching it on the steel, and I don't want to cut through this, obviously. Create a short, so. I think we're good. Oh yeah, there we go. It's working. Probably not even seeing anything. That's goodly. All right, goodly. Let's plug this sucker in. Let's grab the key here. Stick it in the ignition. That's how it works. Oh, not only is it working, it's quiet. Oh my God, that's beauteous. Ha 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 ha. I had a rubber gasket poked out up here. Gosh, darn it. All right, hey, find it now, find it now. I'll loosen this up a little bit here. Tuck that gasket. If you're gonna do the job, do it to the best of your ability. Yeah. There we go. Now it's tighter. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. All right, that's on there. It works. We've got this thing here, which we know isn't really gonna stay on here anymore. Oh, it kind of does, doesn't it? Look at that. That is a weird substance. Who's got to school me on this? Okay. I'm actually okay with that. It is sticking back. I don't know why and how. Not going to ask. Going to be grateful. Thank you, Lord. All right, let's pop this back in. And hopefully this will work. I might have more of these inserts. If I don't, I know I could get one. Yeah, it pushed it right through. But that'll stay in place. I got to get a new insert for that. Let's work on one of these covers for the speakers. I notice the one on the other side is cracked. This one's cracked here too. It does lift from the bottom here. And I got my finger on a tab right there and right here. Let's see if we can pry one of these off and get to the speaker without having to pull the whole door panel off, because I happen to have a set of replacement speakers with me, and if that'll work, we'll just do that right now in this video. Don't go anywhere. Okay, that's it. You just get a screwdriver and you pry these two tabs up, and then this comes out. So look at there. Looky there. That is pretty straightforward, simple stuff. Although, okay, I see the two side clips, and I can see that this one here is busted right there. I didn't break that though. The piece is not there anymore. This was on this door already, and I think I have a couple extras of these in all my stuff. I'll bet you maybe you can see what's going on here. Hang on. All right, let's try to get this speaker off of here. I hope we can see all this on camera. Turns out these are not metric. This is a 1/4 inch drive. Good old GM. Good old GM. We still have to work on the mirror. We got to take that fisheye off the old one and put it on the new one, but I'm right here, so I just wanted to pull some of these screws and see what happens. Show you guys the speakers I bought, and hopefully they'll fit without, again, having to remove this whole panel. Ah, shit. Right down the door. Okay, that is not how this works. Nope, that is not how this works. Shit. Oh no, that's the part that broke off the cover that's sitting there. That's weird. Get my magnet out. Maybe I can separate this with a blade. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Alright, let's just, before we get too wrapped up into this here, we will, left my knife in the car, and it figures. We will go ahead and open this box and look at the flanges on the new speakers. And I think I can see it already. Now, I had to buy some adapters for this, which are somewhere in the van. I'm going to have to find them so you can plug and play with the original factory harness. I think I know where they are. So I just wanted to pull one of these out. These had a good review on them, and they're supposed to work. So they look cool. And yes, so it looks to me like what I'm seeing in the van here is that I have to get a blade in there and separate this from whatever. I got to imagine that it's designed so you can replace these speakers without pulling the whole door panel off. So let's get back in there and eyeball that and see if we can make it work. Come with me. Walk this way. Walk this way. Walk this way. Talk this way. I shouldn't do it with this knife. It's how I broke the last one. Doing things you're not supposed to do with it, but we'll do it anyhow. I gotta be me. All right, should probably put my peepers on so I can actually see what I'm doing here. Yep, that's exactly what was going on. So now you know how easy it is to get these speakers out. Oof. These are notorious for going bad, these things. Although I think my passenger side is worse than this driver's side. So that's that. Now, I forgot to grab the magnet, but let me do that. There's a thing here I want to get out. Part of the kit here. Right here. It's always important. I have a bigger one that's in my larger Astro van kit. There we are. So this is the part, you guys remember, this cover here, I think, has something to do with that. I don't know how, but that has been spun off somehow. I didn't do that. And that was already cracked. It was already like that, but for some reason it was just sitting right on top of here, and I don't know how that happened, that it stayed there. Okay, and oh, okay. The window's down, and because it's so dark in there behind the glass, it looks like a mirror. So that freaked me out for a moment. Let me grab the other speaker and just place it. Make sure it fits. Okay. Alright, so that's going to be a thing. So I can see these holes want to line up, but this is in my way. I'm going to have to, oh, look, I can just move it. I could probably just trim that, which is what I'll do, likely. So I could push it in, looks like. And the holes do line up pretty well. Pretty well. I think I'm going to be able to make this work. That's going to be bitchin'. Now the thing is, you should be able to see here, this typically just takes two ways to plug this in, and the factory has an input here. So let me see what I can find inside the van that's supposed to mimic that. I guess there's something that will attach to those pins like this does, and then I can just plug it in. I don't know, man. Let's find out. All right, okay. This is what I bought that's supposed to work. And when I ordered these speakers, this is what was recommended to work with this vehicle. So I have no idea how it works. Now I do. Look at that. That makes sense. And it does plug in. Oh, man. Oh, look at that. There's a skinny one and a fat one. There's a skinny one and a fat one. I'll tell you what, it does not get easier than that. I no longer have the links for this, and I apologize, but I just went on Amazon.com and searched for speakers that are compatible with the Astro van, and it just told me to get all these parts, and that's what I did. So, man, this seems pretty simple until I started to push it in there. Tell you what, this getting old thing is for the birds. It is for the boys. Come on. I don't want to break anything, obviously. You know, you got to get it on there, but it's not easy. Like, I want it to snap in place. They're not snapping in place. Oh, shit. See, that's what I'm afraid of. I'm going to bend it if I push too hard. They're on there snug enough. Let's just call it good. If it stops working, if it falls off, I'll just go back in there. And we know how easy this is now. Okay. We'll get the two top holes in, and this bottom one here. Wrong tool. Wrong tool. Wrong thing to do, because that pulled it out there, but I just wanted to, there we go. Now I've got the holes lining up. Let's get those on there. Of course, I dropped that one screw, didn't I? What do you think the odds are? I obviously can't see down there. We're SOL. It's going to be in there. And I am not pulling this panel off right now. So we're going to go with 3 screws on this side. And then we'll do the other side. And this is going to be like an epic friggin' video. Jeez. That's not supposed to pull off there like that. I guess it does. Yeah, these are not perfectly lined up. But it's enough. It's enough. We'll make this work. 2 of these is probably enough, to be honest with you. I mean, those suckers are in there. That's not going to go anywhere. We'll see if we can force this 3rd one in down here on an angle. The bummer is I don't think I can do a sound check with you guys, because anything I want to listen to... Oh, unless I find my buddy Steve's music on here, then I can play it. Let's see if this cover will go back on. Well, so we know that's busted up there, so, but, oh, look at that. That's on there. Holy Toledo. Holy Toledo. That was easy. Wow. So what's going to happen next is I'm going to do the other side. I don't feel like I need to show you that. Get the Cyclops off the old mirror. Clean up this mess here. Again, I'm calling this the Cyclops. There's probably another name for it, but I need to pull this off this mirror right here. Put that on the new mirror. Get the other speaker and we'll be good. I'll try to find my buddy's music, Shakin' Steve with The Fugitive Kind. Original bass player from Dramarama. Because I could play his music and YouTube can't say shh about it. Don't go anywhere, it's not over. Alright, so on this side it wasn't disconnected at the top. So I pivoted that out and it wants to snap off now. And I don't know if you guys can see that, it's up over here. My mic is on the other side, so I'm probably screwing up my sound. But anyhow, I can get this out of here. I think we're just gonna bust that out of there as neatly as possible and put it back together. But yes, you can do this way, but as you know, or as you can see here, there's gonna be an issue with this spot right there. And I want to try to do that without cracking this plastic here. Alright, so the way these speakers, this particular speaker works is you can only get 3 screws to line up with those holes. So, and then just keep in mind with this whole thing, you know, I ended up breaking this off. This little part here was up in there and it pulls through there, and I use this. You could probably get this in there and pry that off first if you're smarter than I am, and most of you are. But I mean, the other side seems to be working okay with just getting these clips in, lined up, and pushed back, and that's good. That's not going to go anywhere. So I feel like we're in pretty good shape with that. So my next thing is, I still have to do that mirror. Oh, I left the key on this whole time. Let's turn that off. Alright. And the next thing we're going to do after we do the mirror is do a music sound check here. Let's go ahead and show you this right quick. You guys are going to ask me. These are the speakers. So it's the Pile PLG 6.3 280 watt 3-way speaker. It says Pile USA, but they have a sticker that says Made in the USA. These are the speakers. These are the covers that I won't be using. I'll probably hold on to them. It's got a template, and it comes with some speaker wire and some clips, which I'm not using. And then this was the harness kit. That is the number, 72464568. I realize that the mic is spun around the opposite direction. Sorry if you can't hear me, but this is the kit. And again, Amazon.com makes life real easy. If you go on there, here's the numbers. If you look for your product, this is a 2004 Astro van. So you go Astro van 2004, select speakers. It'll tell you if it's compatible, and then it'll usually show like what people bought with it, and that's what they buy with it. So it's a plug and play system. All right, let me try to pry this off without breaking glass and get the rest of this done. I had to turn the car off for a minute. Oriental. I'm feeling like the great zero. Oh, Loretta. I could jam out in the desert now, man. Stoked about that. So that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It should have been 2 videos, but I couldn't help myself. So this is how you change out a power mirror in a 2004 Astro van, changing out your front speakers, how I did it anyhow, with those speakers that I showed you in the video. And that's it for now. So be kind to one another. Have a great day. Tell your friends. Come back often. I'll catch you in the next one.